Hey, let's talk like two people who've lived through barely their audio before finally hearing what real sound feels like. HD4. This is for the kind of listener who notices when music loses its soul, who hears when speakers sound thin, who sat through moments that should feel alive but just don't. Before you go deeper, take a moment to check the current price and availability. Speakers this capable and refined don't hang around once people start replacing old gear with something that actually performs. You knew it was time to upgrade when every track that used to move you started sounding flat and distant. When podcasts felt boring instead of intimate. When movies just played sound instead of presenting it. You didn't need someone to point it out, your ears already knew something was missing. That quiet frustration every time you hit play? That's the signal that you've outgrown compromise. And the first time these speakers filled the room? It wasn't about being louder, it was about presence. There's a clarity and openness that you don't expect until you experience it, highs that sing without harshness, mids that feel true instead of muddled, lows that have weight without boominess. That's the moment where you stop adjusting settings and just listen. You'll know it the second you hear it. Imagine sitting down with a favorite album and suddenly hearing layers you never noticed before, subtle harmonies, rhythmic details, emotional weight you forgot was there. Picture movies where dialogue feels anchored and soundtracks feel rich instead of buried. Even gaming feels more intentional when cues are clear and defined, not lost in a haze of weak audio. While you're imagining that, take another look at availability. Waiting often turns into awkward price swings or stock disappearing, and that hesitation now is exactly the kind of regret you feel every time you remind yourself your current setup isn't delivering what a great system should. If you're wondering whether speakers this refined are worth it, let's reframe that thought. This isn't about flashy specs that look good on paper, it's about sound that feels right in your space. Once you've lived with true clarity and organic depth, anything weaker starts to feel like fog instead of form. You don't just hear the difference, you feel it. Here's something people overlook until they live it: you start trusting your audio again. You hit play on something new and don't brace for disappointment. You don't chase clarity with the remote. You just lean back and experience. That shift from adjusting to absorbing, that's the part that actually changes how you enjoy media. You feel richness you didn't expect. You hear nuance in every track. You relax into full, clear sound. You stop compensating with volume. You feel proud of how it performs. The only real downsides are that weaker systems feel painfully thin afterward, and once you've experienced this kind of detail and balance, anything less feels flat rather than fulfilling. At some point, the endless comparison loop just drains you. You already know in your head what good sound should feel like. Don't let this upgrade be the one you postpone and then regret every time a favorite moment falls flat through weak speakers. If you're ready to finally hear your music, movies, and games the way they deserve to be heard, check the pricing and make this pair yours now. The moment sound feels alive instead of distant, you'll know exactly why it mattered.